¿Qué dice? Que mire para abajo, que quede eso que...
Now the next spring that I'll be going into is called the Creature Spring. Now I got that name because in 1954 they filmed the movie The Creature from the Black Lagoon here. And in 1955 they filmed Revenge of the Creature and The Creature Walks Among Us also this very next spring. The Creature Spring is 31 feet deep. Now what we're going to be looking for is a layer that the creature lived in that movie The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's going to be this crack in between the two rocks down here.
No, mira otra acá, mira otra ahí.
Mira las tortugas.
Es presión de agua, porque los pescados no van. Mira aquí abajo, mami.
That'll give you the layer coming to view right below you guys.
No sabe.
Mira la tortuga, Kelly. Mira la tortuga.
Ah, pues está allá.
Ese está grandecito.
Miren, miren.
Ay, qué rico sería bañarse.
Al río que fueron ustedes podían haberse, pero bueno. Estaba muy lleno.
Now the next spring that we'll be going into is going to be the deepest of the springs that you see today. It is officially, unofficially, 81 feet deep. The name of this next spring is called the Abyss.
Estoy grabando.
So a little story about this next spring is a couple years ago we had some divers very interested in finding out how deep the spring was. They were able to make it down to 81 feet. But at certain points in time they had to take the tank off and push it in front of them because it was extremely narrow to get down the side of. They did eventually make it down to 81 feet where they reached the limestone ledge and they were not able to go down any further. They did, however, bring a quarter-mile long rope but they had a weight attached to one end of it. When they reached the limestone ledge at 81 feet, they dropped it in that rope. And folks, that weight never hit the bottom, so we really have no clue how deep this spring is that we're going right across the top of right now.
Mira. El hueco sigue para abajo, mire. Óyeme, eso es como una grieta, ¿no?
Now the different types of birds you might see along the river on this tour today.
Como manantiales de eso de...
You possibly might even see baby blue herons, little blue herons, juvenile blue herons, egrets, ibis, limpets, moorhens, or wood ducks.
Oh my God.
Amelia. Afloja.
Now coming up on the right hand side, you guys are going to see an island. This is known as Bird Island. Two many types of birds you're going to see up in the trees in this nest are going to be cormorants and anhingas. Cormorants are going to be the birds with a yellowish curved or hooked beak. Anhingas have that straight pointed beak. Now we do also have a couple different species of turtles along the Silver River. We have three different types of sliders. We have red belly, orange belly, and yellow belly sliders. We also have alligator snapping turtles and soft shell turtles.
Ya no se ven ahora. Es hierba nada más lo que se ve.
Trees on that log are be some of our yellow belly sliders.
Mira la tortuguita.
Aquí no habita la... ¿Tú te imaginas que estuve grabando sin apretarla?
Así me pasó a mí.
Mesa, papá.
Now also keep your eyes open along this area of the river because we do have two families of river otters that like to frequent this area of the river. Also we do have 6 manatees that live here year round. And last count we had 300 wild rhesus macaque monkeys here in the state park. So keep your eyes up in the trees for those. You never know where you're going to find them hanging out at. Now this next area that we're going to go into is called Spring of Life. There are 85 springs in this one area, most of them producing a gallon of water each day. We do, however, have a little under 200 springs here at Silver Springs. If you take and combine them all together at max flow, you're looking at 850 million gallons of water coming out of the ground each day.
No, dicen que no sé. No, la muchacha
dice que no.
En el río principal.
Now, getting ready coming into the glass, you guys are going to see a piece of wood coming into view. That is a piece of cypress wood. 8 years ago, we had some divers went down there and they brought that piece of wood up and they took it to the University of Florida and they did research on it. They also carbonated it. That piece of wood carbonates back 590 to 600 years ago. That belonged to the Timucuan Indian tribe. At 28 foot long, what we found out was it was a ceremonial canoe for them. Also, what we found out from the carbonating and research is what you folks are looking at right down there below you is the oldest intact dugout rock canoe in the state of Florida. When the University of Florida found that out, they wanted to put it in a natural history museum. The state of Florida said it was already, put it back where you got it from. After a couple months of arguing back and forth, the state finally won. The divers brought it back out here and placed it back in the water with an inch of where they originally removed it from. Now the next spring that we'll be going into is called the Blue Grotto. It is a magnitude 1 spring. At max flow, every 24 hours it is producing 46 million gallons of water.
Wow.
Now they estimate the spring to be 21 feet deep, and we do have 32 different species of fish along the Silver River. We have 7 different types of bass, 2 different types of gar. We have the spotted gar and the long-nosed gar. We also have brim, shad, bluegill. We have catfish, mudfish, bowfins. We also have mola, which are the fish you might see jumping out of the water. We have blue tilapia, which are the big blue fish you might see down there. And last but not least, we have picassos, which are the algae eaters. Now what we're looking for in this spring right here is going to be the white pebbles being pushed out from the ledge down there. Those white pebbles being pushed out from the ledge is limestone and snail shells.
Kevin, ¿te gusta?
A mí sí, mira.
Ah, qué rico.
Qué grande está, ¿eh?
Can everybody see the white pebbles?
Yeah. Yeah. White ones, yes. See those white things, limestones.
Now on our right hand side on this branch over here, we're going to have one of our anhingas with that straight pointy beak. Now the interesting thing about those anhingas is they have no natural oil on their feathers. They're one of few birds, kind of like a bald eagle, that have no natural oil. So anytime they've been in the water, swimming around, fishing for a long period of time, what they have to do is they have to climb out of the water. Climb over top of something like these 2 anhingas, male anhingas are doing right here. Once they climb on top of something, usually what they do is they spread their wings real far apart. And then what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the wind to blow through or the sunlight to shine down on them to dry their wings out. Otherwise, they're so waterlogged they cannot fly after being in the water. Now, the different types of flowers you might see along the river on the store today are going to be the purple flowers on the single stalk are going to be called pickleweeds. The red flowers along the bank are going to be called cardinals. If you see a white flower, it looks like it has little fingers and little legs on it, they're going to be called spider lilies. And if you see a big bush with puffy purple flowers on it, they're going to be called wild asters.
Mayor ya de 14 años ya, yo creo. Ya todo el mundo tiene, yo ahora con mis sobrinos el único menor.
Now we are heading back the direction where we launched from. A lot of people think that is where the river ends at. That is in fact where it begins at. The water pushes up out of our head spring and pushes north. The Silver River goes a distance of 6 miles until it meets the Guasa River.
Estoy grabando, me voy a subir a
Now the
YouTube.
Indians gave the name Guasa because it meant muddy or dirty water. Now the Guasa River flows north.
Ella se parece a ella.
Or it means see
Al
St.
padre
John's
algo
River.
también, no sé, yo le veo los dos.
The St. John's River also flows north where it snakes and winds around. Eventually it makes a right-hand turn at Jacksonville and empties out into the Atlantic Ocean.
Sí.
So all the water that had come up out of our springs eventually will make its way all the way out to the Atlantic Ocean. It's really not that far of water, it's only about 153 miles from our head spring to the Atlantic Ocean. Now, can anybody tell me what Native American tribe in Florida never signed a treaty with the United States government? Who? Seminoles. Who said that? Yeah, you are correct. It was the Seminole. Now, the Seminole had a chief they were very fond of. His name was Chief Osceola. Chief Osceola was half Dutch and half Native American Indian, which meant that he could read and write the English language really well. The United States government did not know that. They went to him and presented him with a piece of paper, told the chief, take this back to your tribe, read over it, sign the bottom of it, bring it back to us. Well, he took it back to his tribe. He read over it. What it was a treaty. What that treaty said is, we're going to remove you and your people from your land. We're going to ship you guys north up to Oklahoma and place you on a reservation. Well, Chief Osceola wasn't having any of that. So what he did is he took that treaty back to the United States government. He placed it down on a stump. Right in front of him, he pulled it out his big dagger and stuck it in that treaty, essentially killing that treaty. Still, to today's date, the Seminole Indians have still not signed a treaty with the United States government, so technically they are still at war. Now, coming up on the right-hand side, up on the bank up here, you guys are going to see a brown statue. That is a statue of Chief Osceola. What is depicted in that statue is what I just told you. Now, Chief Osceola was eventually captured by the United States government and placed in prison in St. Augustine, where in 1838, he passed away at the age of 34 years old from malaria and dysentery. Now the last spring we're coming into is our head spring. This is Mammoth Spring. Mammoth Spring is 31 feet deep. Now it got its name Mammoth Spring because when the spring opened up many years ago, they actually found woolly mammoth remains inside of it. Those are currently on display in the State Museum on the other side of the park. That is open Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, trivia question for you. When we went to Spring Alive, I told you we had a little under 200 springs here. If you take and combine them all together, it max flow produces a lot of water. Anybody remember that amount of water?
Bueno, ya llegamos, se nos acabaron los 14 pesos. Sí, pero te digo, ya que estamos aquí.
850 million gallons of water. Now this spring right here is the world's largest artesian spring in the Western Hemisphere. At max flow every 24 hours, it is producing 500 million gallons of water. Now, one last thing I want to show you guys was left here from a series called I Spy, featuring Robert Culp and Bill Cosby. That was filmed right here in Mammoth Springs. Now, one last thing I want to show you guys is coming into view right below the glass right now. There's going to be a statue standing right down here at the very bottom. Now these statues stand 7 foot tall and they're made of fiberglass. They were brought here in 1960 for that series I Spy. They also made a special appearance in the movie Moonraker. Now you will notice there are 3 of them down there. They are 3 brothers and they represent 3 Greek gods. Who you're in fact looking at right down there below you is Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Now they are sitting in 30 foot of water. They're anchored down there, the concrete base to keep them from floating up. Can everybody see all 3 of them?
Yep.
No, esto es de una película. Esto es de una película. Aquí filmaron una película. Pero mi pregunta es una cosa que pusieron.
Alrighty guys, this does conclude our boat ride. Did everybody have a good time?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Now please take a moment, look around you, make sure you collect anything you came on the boat with. Any wallets, purses, cameras, keys. Any small children or significant others, make sure you take that all back with you.
Kaylee, es que filmaron
If
una
you need anything of
película.
value on the boat, check on eBay tonight and
Son las
I'll sell it back
estatuas.
to you for twice as much what you bought it for. Also, as we're going to the dock here, please remain seated for me until we get pulled in here. Once we get pulled in here, they get us tied off and drop that ramp all the way down. You folks in are free to move about.
Ya va saliendo otra.
Está rica.
Otra. Esa sin cristal a los lados. ¿Cuál película, Kaylee?
Una que se llama I Spy.
Ah. Por eso son las estatuas allá abajo. ¿Ves? Porque aquí filmaron una película. Ya le filmé a los amiguitos de YouTube para que vieran el paseo. Mira, el videíto completo.
Lo que no vi ningún caballo bajo el agua.
Llegamos. Llegamos. Todo el paseíto se lo grabé. No se me quejen.
Papi, espérate.